Welcome to my channel. My name's David, and my goal is to help you enjoy your life to the fullest. So today we're going to be talking about the three biggest reasons why you're nervous or you stutter around girls. So these aren't going to be your average, advice that people tell you, like just be yourself or oh, you just got to talk to more people. These are the top things that I've personally noticed as to why I had struggled for so long personally. So just before we get started, I want to tell a little bit about my own story. I had struggled with a lot of social anxiety growing up, and that caused me to get brain fog when I would talk to girls, stutter, and just generally be nervous to not even just talk to people in general. Even it got to a point where like I couldn't even talk to my closest friends because I would get nervous around them. And so I spent the last couple months to a year really developing myself and just learning more about social anxiety and why I was having these issues in the first place. And ultimately, thankfully and gratefully, I was able to overcome these issues. And today, that is what I'm going to be sharing with y'all. So, number one is your focus. In today's society, there's a lot of things that are distracting you. And you form this kind of habit loop of constantly being distracted, not being able to focus on one thing for a prolonged period of time. And that doesn't just apply with schoolwork or business, it also applies with your conversations. So what used to happen to me was I would talk to someone, and if I was nervous around them, it would be worse. But usually what would happen was I would talk to someone, and then I would just get these random intrusive thoughts about how I'm not capable of talking to these people, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not funny enough, or all these things, or just random thoughts that would just take away my attention. And what happened was I would lose track of what they were saying as well as what I was going to say. And sometimes when I would try to tell a story, I would just lose my train of thought halfway through. So the solution is to constantly bring your attention back to that person. Whenever they're saying something, it doesn't matter what like you're worried about or anxious about, just bring the attention back. That should be your only point of focus during the entire conversation. And if it's with a group of people, same concept. You want to be able to focus on the group dynamics and the group environment, not what your thoughts are telling you. Maybe you're not good enough, or oh, I wonder if I'm funny, or what if I look stupid in front of these people. All of these thoughts are just thoughts. You don't have to pay attention to them. So you have to bring your attention back to that person. And the thing that's going to help with that is meditation, breathing meditation, such as bring your focus back to the breath. That's going to help a lot, as well as just making a daily practice to only focus on one thing throughout your day. That will drastically improve this aspect. So the second point is emotional processing. This is going to be a really big one. And without this, I don't know why I didn't put this at the very first point, but without this, all the others are really not going to help as much. Basically, with emotional processing, growing up, I personally never knew how to deal with my emotions. And so anytime I would get into like an awkward situation, I would just, I would run away from the feelings. I would try to suppress them. I would try to push it down. Instead, I should have just fully embraced them and just allowed them to come and go, because that's what naturally, like emotions, like that's what they want to do. They just come in and then they leave naturally on its own. But because I was resisting it, I would it would accumulate over time, and that causes a lot of negative symptoms to appear. So whenever you're talking to someone and you notice these sensations come up, or you get triggered, or that's what would happen to me when I would try to talk to some girl that I thought was like really pretty, or some person that I thought was like in a higher league than me. I would just blank, my mind would go blank, I would stutter, and I would just get anxious and I didn't know what to say. And that was all of that previous trauma energy coming up and blocking me from fully being present and just talking to them. And so the way to fix this, the way to deal with your emotional traumas and just emotions in general, is this term called letting go. And this is a video that I will make eventually on the entire process on how to do this. But essentially right now you can just go on YouTube and search up the idea called letting go. This is a concept by David R. Hawkins as well as numerous other YouTubers. It's not just them, but this has been like a teaching passed down from, you know, ancient spiritual masters on how to deal with your emotions. And you know, it's something so basic and fundamental that no one teaches. And so basically, essentially what it is like I mentioned before, just fully embracing all the emotions, relaxing into them, and just accepting them fully instead of the opposite, which is suppressing them and pushing them down and avoiding them. This will dramatically change your life. The third point is shifting your identity. So right now, if you're struggling with social anxiety, you've probably accumulated a bunch of negative experiences that have formed the foundation of who you are. And this is something you carry around with you throughout your day. The thoughts in your head, the way your posture is, the way you interact with people, it all reflects that identity of yourself. And what you have to say to yourself is you have to commit towards changing your identity. You have to commit to saying that this version of myself that I want to become, this version of being super socially confident and like being able to talk to everyone, that is something that I deserve and something that is already within my grasp. Imagine as if it's already a reality. Imagine as if there's already a version of you right now that is living your dream life. What would you think? What would you feel? And how would you act? You want to think about these things and embody that every single day. So you basically want to assume that it is for you and that it is a reality. Only by doing so will you be able to gradually shift your identity towards that. So what that may look like practically is you could, for me, I joined a fraternity, I went to nightclubs, anything that is going to put you outside of your comfort zone and expand your identity is going to help you facilitate that process. And with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. Please hit the like button if you resonated with my content or if you learned something today. I'm sending love to everyone out there who needs this content. And until next time, peace.